What expectations do you feel that society has of you?
Society has rules. And the first rule is, you go to college. You want to have a happy and successful life? You go to college. If you want to be somebody, you go to college. If you want to fit in, you go to college.
Do you maybe feel like you are expected to present yourself in a particular manner?
Princess must be attired like royalty.
Do I have to wear this all the time?
Oh, of course not, Your Highness. You'll need something much more formal for dinner.
Couldn't I just wear one of my own dresses?
Oh, very amusing, Your Highness, but it simply isn't done.
Or maybe talk a certain way?
Hamburger.
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 Ham.
Ham.
Burger.
Burger.
You may even feel that there are certain people you have to hang out with because of society's social standards.
Where you sit in the cafeteria is crucial because you got everybody there. You got your freshmen, ROTC guys, preps, JV jocks, Asian nerds, cool Asians, varsity jocks, unfriendly black hotties, girls who eat their feelings, girls who don't eat anything, desperate wannabes, burnouts, sexually active band geeks, the greatest people you will ever meet, and the worst.
In A Room with a View by E.M. Forster, the main character, Lucy, faces similar obstacles. Lucy Honeychurch and her cousin Charlotte Bartlett are at a hotel full of other English tourists. They are displeased with their rooms, but a pair of guests, Mr. Emerson and his son George, offer to switch with them. This sparks a whole discussion of what is proper and improper. A large majority of the hotel guests believe that the Emersons are socially unacceptable. Lucy is saddened by the attitude of the other guests towards the quirky father-son duo. She and George both witnessed a dramatic murder in Florence Square, and both are irreversibly changed by it. This makes Lucy realize that life is not as simple as she thought it was up to this point in her life, and she begins to slowly question her belief in the social order she grew up with. When the guests at the hotel go on what is meant to be a pleasant drive in the country, they arrive at a particularly beautiful view from a hilltop. Everyone wanders off to explore. Lucy inevitably finds George, and overwhelmed by the beauty of nature and the beauty of Lucy herself, he kisses her. Lucy returns to England and becomes engaged to Cecil Vyse. Although he is wealthy, he is also cruel and very devious. Lucy becomes torn between her complicated feelings for George and her social obligation to Cecil, which in her mind masquerades as love. Throughout the whole novel, there is one character who seems as though she is going to be the role model for Lucy in her unconventional way of dealing with society's expectations. Though in the end, Miss Lavish reverts back to the proper English way of doing things, she did have a great impact on Lucy. Miss Lavish shows her true colors when she reveals her interest in finding an adventure by getting lost in Florence. But once she is lost, she expresses her need to find her way quickly back, not caring about all the beautiful places she passes on her way. Miss Lavish's actions are somewhat upsetting. She was supposed to be somewhat of a symbol of sticking it to the man, not caring what others think of you and formulating opinions and thoughts about things that matter. Young women are often taught to present themselves in a certain way, much like how Charlotte tells Lucy that a woman's mission is to inspire others to achievement, rather than to achieve themselves.
Oh no, she didn't!
The piano plays a significant part in Lucy's self-discovery. It so happened that Lucy, who found daily life rather chaotic, entered a more solid world when she opened the piano. She was then no longer either a rebel or a slave. The kingdom of music is not a kingdom of this world. It will accept those whom breeding and intellect and culture have alike rejected. The piano is Lucy's escape. When she plays, there is no right or wrong. She doesn't have to worry about how others view her. She can just be herself. She can be content. All humans have an escape, whether it be reading, exercising, or sleeping. There is always somewhere someone can go to just be themselves. Another clear symbol of Lucy's internal struggle with her moral beliefs is when the narrator describes the table. Lucy looked at the 2 rows of English people who were sitting at the table, at the row of white bottles of water and the red bottles of wine that ran between the English people, suggesting that the 2 rows of English people belonged to 2 different worlds, further symbolizing Lucy's turmoil between social classes and who is deemed acceptable by her upper middle class society. Her moral compass is divided, just like the table, between strict, old-fashioned Victorian values and newer, more liberal values. Her trip to Italy opens her sheltered eyes to ideas and people unlike those she has known growing up in the English countryside. She also notices how freely Italian classes seem to mix. At the beginning of the novel, Lucy shows her obvious disappointment with having a room with no view, although her reaction is exaggerated by her cousin's blunt hate for the viewless room. Lucy's superficial reaction to her viewless room portrays her ignorance and stupidity to conform to how she was expected to act when presented with something unpleasant. This philosophical view, which the Emersons offer and which Lucy eventually accepts, is implied in the literal view that the Emersons relinquish with their room. Lucy's superficial reaction to her viewless room portrays her ignorance and stupidity to conform to how she was expected to act when presented with something unpleasant. In conclusion, although Lucy, at first, conformed to what she thought was right, she overcame society's restrictions on her by being with George, and in doing so, she became conscious of a love more mysterious, implying that in overcoming her greatest challenge, Lucy actually became stronger than she ever could have been.